Welcome to Nascimento Marketing's 32 Blitz, presented by Living Sport. Tonight is the third matchup of the American bracket for round two. Yeah, that's a mouthful for sure. But let's get to today's guests. We have Kent State versus Penn State. So up top, we have Mitchell, familiar guest, as he joined us earlier this week as well for a Canadian matchup. Beneath me here, we have Jessica. She is the Living Sport guest, so good to have her on. And at the bottom here, we have Dan representing Penn State. So should be a good matchup. I think both these guys are pretty good at 2K, so should be entertaining visually and with the discussion as well. Before we get into any discussion, let's pick the teams. As usual, 2 randoms, and then the third is the death pick. So Dan, who'd you get? Not a bad team, I'll say that. Being from Canada. You know what? I'll say this after because I got a story about that. Nice little... What, you got the Jazz and Knicks? Yeah. We risking it for the biscuit. Yesterday they went for the third and they got the Warriors, so... Who'd you get? Pistons? It's not bad. Look, it actually looks fair, almost even. Oh, yeah. True. Yeah. Okay, that's perfect. And then just building on what Dan was saying here, we the North. I was just saying this to somebody earlier. Today's my 1-year anniversary of getting off my ass in sports, I'd like to say, where, yeah, thank you. Went to my first networking event, technically, and that's going to shock people when I say it, but a year ago today, went to Toronto, actually met the lady who came up with the We the North campaign, so the CMO for Maple Leaf Sports Entertainment, and after that event, speaking to all these people, I'm like, wow, like, 100%, this is, I always knew I wanted to get in sports. I realized if I was going to get into it, you have to do much more than just wait around and apply, so started doing coffee chats, got involved with the startup, started a podcast, met people, now in sports. So, love it. And to start off, as always, let's just do a little elevator pitch, I like to say. So, we'll go just in the order of the stream, which is Mitchell, Jessica, and then Dan, and then name, education, and then work or what you want to do for a career. So, let's start off with Mitchell. Yeah, absolutely. And you want to work in sales, correct, Mitchell? Or is it market? Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Sounds amazing. I'll kind of start directing the questions to Jessica and Dan a bit more so we can kind of get a tight matchup. Jessica, you want to give me your pitch? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Were you on? Believe it was Dylan Hammond. Oh, okay. Yeah. You mentioned that earlier. That's for sure a topic I want to get into a bit more. But that's all amazing. And quickly before we get into Dan, I know we mentioned this before the stream began, but the prize for whoever wins this all which will be, I think, the winner. If you win today, you have three more wins to get this prize, which is a $500 scholarship to a living sport program. So everything that Jessica just shared with us about living sport, that could be you as well, and you would get a $500 scholarship to a 2021 program. So huge thanks to Living Sport for providing that and also being the presenting sponsor. Dan, last but not least, let's get into it. Let's hear what you have to say. Yeah, no, for sure. I don't know if I mentioned this on your first stream, Dan, but I started off in accounting, and I always had a plan. Even in my kindergarten yearbook, it said accountant or soccer player. Yeah, so I went in accounting, worked in accounting, got offered a job full time. Once I graduated, and as soon as I got that offer, I'm like, yeah, no, I'm done. Sports marketing is what I want to do. So hopefully you're more passionate about accounting than I was, but that's great to hear that you have that mindset. And you're so happy with what you're doing. But hmm. Oh, absolutely. Yeah. So I got a what's it called? I an honors bachelor's of commerce in option and marketing, something like that. So it's a commerce focused degree with with a little sprinkle of marketing, you can say. And I think for sure, I know I've spoken to people that a lot of people that come on this tournament and even living sport guests. A lot of them seem to be sport management or sport administration graduates. But I like to think that a business degree as well, because sports are a business as a whole, right? The bottom line is important. Understanding how it all works is extremely important as well. So I think by having that education, it's a solid foundation to work off of. Um, Quickly here, just looking at the score, Mitchell, Su- superstar might have been a little. Yeah, I'm not a basketball coach here, but I think the first few minutes here when we were going for threes, I think that wasn't our game. I think our game's a little bit more of small ball. Oh, you do? Yeah, yeah. Oh, I get distracted. I can't like start looking at the screen because then boom, I get brain freeze by that. But um, something I did want to get into right off the hop is Jessica. You said you're involved with the Penguins. You just finished an MBA as well, so that's extremely impressive. And congratulations on that. Do you want to maybe share how you got in with the Penguins and what the whole process of that looked like? Mm-hmm. 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 Yeah, no, I completely agree with that. And I also think, I don't know the exact quote, so I won't try to requote it, but there's a saying that kind of goes along with, you know, if you prepare yourself and put yourself in the right positions, good things will happen. Or like, I think maybe it's a hockey quote now that I think about it. Like the puck will come on your stick and, just putting yourself in the right position. So I think that's happened with you. I think that also happened with me. I said this. I don't know if I said this on the stream or not. But it's my 1 year thing, and just by getting off my ass, and sorry if that offends anyone, just by getting off my ass and actually doing something 1 year ago today, it allowed me to meet all these great people, start a podcast, get involved in sports, and I think that goes with any industry too. Whether I've said this to friends, so Ottawa is the capital city here. What is it? A lot of the jobs are with the federal government, and some people like to call it the lottery ticket because, the what is it? The pension is amazing, and then it's 9 to 5, not too much stress depending on what you do. But even to get into there is pretty competitive. So I like to think if you like meet the right people, that's a great way to get in, even though it's not as competitive as an industry, I'd like to say. Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely, and I think perfect example is kind of Mitchell too, where we met over LinkedIn. So I have my podcast throughout. First shameless plug of the night. Um, you know, the whole purpose of the podcast was meeting all these great people in sports, and I think somebody may have shared an episode on LinkedIn, and Mitchell was connected or knew a mutual connection. Uh, we got connected, we spoke, and then now, Mitchell. He's in this tournament. He's been on what is it? A different stream, a Canadian stream, as well as a guest. So we're meeting all these people, and now I have a contact in the Ohio, correct, and but close to Pittsburgh area. So yeah, I'm on the ball, and then. Mhm. Hmm. Well, yeah, absolutely. Um, Pardon? Yeah, see, I was trying not to ask you a question there because trying to give you some little space, time and space, I like to say, but yeah, yeah, you gotta get in front of that, man. Oh, you blocked it. What's the score here? 42. I thought you were doing a little comeback there. I'm not gonna lie. There's a little thing going. Yeah, yeah. Well, Dan, one thing that I will say about your 2K game, amazing team, great country. That's all. That's what I'll say about the Raptors. Oh yeah, great country, great color. I love it. Yeah. Uh, Actually, you know what? I kind of get into Canada every stream. Let's get into it. You guys are obviously in larger markets. Huge schools, college, the attention that the sports get there. So there's a ton of more opportunities there. But if I already asked this to Mitchell and Dan, I'm sorry. Maybe just repeat it just in a shorter form. But maybe I'll start with Jessica. Do you have any interest of living sport, traveling and working abroad. Do you have any interest of maybe working in Canada specifically because it is fairly close to home? Wow. Hmm. Yeah, absolutely. I don't know if you're familiar with this, but the soccer team that I work with is actually owned by Atletico de Madrid. So yeah, yeah, yeah. So that's actually kind of the reason why I kind of pivoted and tried going with that team because it's brand new, and I just finished working with a. Actually, I'm still kind of involved with a hockey startup, and I found by putting yourself in a situation where it's all hands on deck, you can say, where there's so much work to be done. There's so many things that you're learning. I thought, oh, that'd be great to do with a franchise, and being from Ottawa, COVID happened. I actually met someone through my podcast, referred me to someone else, who then referred me to one of the directors here. Had a call, great. And I'm like, hey, but like, I want to work with you guys. And he's like, we're interested, but call us back once we can hire because you need funds, right? Because ticketing, new franchise, haven't kicked the ball yet. And then I say this every stream, I think after 2 weeks, I'm like, no, 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 no. I need to get in. So then I hit them up. I'm like, look, I'll work for free if I need to. I'll do whatever. I'm like, I just want to be in. And maybe it's a little to fool myself. I also send a message to the president of the team right after the first call. Say, hey, you don't know me yet, but you will. He answered my Twitter DM too. So um, yeah. So now it's yeah. Yeah. I'm a big fan of Brady, and apparently Brady did that to Robert Kraft when he came into the league. So yeah. So now the team's the president, the CEO, and then the three directors and myself. So I'm in all these interesting meetings that I wouldn't have been otherwise. But 100%. And uh, one of the reasons I like sharing that so much is because even myself, right? I didn't do too much in first year, accounting, at least in my opinion. Dan, you can correct me if I'm wrong. I found accounting, there was a ton of opportunities, at least maybe in my market. Every company needs, an accountant of some sorts, every level. Um, and I feel like there's such a high demand for it that I didn't, every networking, there's always a networking event looking for accounting students. So I already had an accounting job. I already had some, ideas of where I wanted to go. So I didn't really think I needed to network. And then finally making the switch to marketing and realizing, no, sports marketing is what's going to make me happy and what I'm passionate about. And having that limited time frame between, you know, um, ending school and then starting my career, you don't necessarily need to be that involved from first year. You just need to do something and meet the right people. So that's why I'd like to share that a bit. But yeah.
relatively good. So that's why he made that decision. He had a job before he even graduated, got his master's in accounting, and he's working towards his CPA at the moment.
Okay, that sounds like kind of the path that I want to go and get my CPA. Well, I'm probably gonna continue at Penn State to get my master's, and then once I graduate, I'll get my CPA. And then the goal is to work at some large public accounting firm. Right now,
Sure.
I do have an internship with BDO, and I have the externship with Deloitte. So if that goes well, I'll always have my connections there. But yeah, that's awesome. I'd love to get in touch.
Yeah, I'll definitely send that to you, man. It's from what I understand, Deloitte's so big, you will make those
Yeah.
big ones.
So I think there was an event where we held it at Penn State, and I think the CEO of Deloitte, she's actually the commissioner of the WNBA now.
Hmm.
Okay.
Well, that's impressive.
I didn't know that. That's good information.
Yeah.
That actually makes a lot of sense because my dad's actually or he retired, so he was a CPA and he worked for KPMG when he came out of school, and you're working with all these uh, different clients, right? So here in Ottawa we have the Senators, and you have all these other small businesses, and this is probably in the '90s, so when the Sens first came about. I don't know if they still do it, but they used to go audit at the offices. So they go to the senator's office, they go to a new startup's office, etc. So you'd end up making a ton of connections, right? So I know he was telling me how a lot of people, when they kind of went from the phase of, I don't remember the exact positions, but right before they offer you partner, they'd often kind of, I know one lady, she ended up becoming the CFO for the Senators. My dad went to go be a CFO for a I don't even know what it was. I think at the time it was like a company that had computer games and all these different other people. So that for sure, maybe even Dan, you said the 10, 15-year thing. Who knows? Maybe you meet some connections with your clients and shift that way.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, even with Deloitte, there was another event that I saw where it was strictly a sports business event where you'd see Mark and you'll see I think Mark Cuban was there and
Hmm.
some other big guys, and then there was also someone representing Deloitte, and seeing that made me realize that it is accounting work, but it's everyone needs an accountant.
100%.
Yeah.
That was actually my plan initially for when I was in accounting, that I wanted to, what was it? So actually in Canada, um, I think depending on your program, masters are more in demand, I guess you could say. So obviously here you guys were saying how Mitchell's buddy straight masters, then working on a CPA. Danny kind of want to do something similar here in Canada, and just the advice I got from like my dad and then other people that worked in accounting when I was younger is get your degree and then get your experience and get the CPA, because at least what my dad used to tell me, he's like, no one, how do I say this nicely? He's like, no one cares about that. He's like, people want your experience. So that's what he's telling me, like, get your degree and then he's like, get the CPA and start getting that experience, because that's when it matters. But yeah, so my path was like get the CPA, work for something like KPMG, Deloitte, and then I wanted to kind of shift and hopefully work with a client like the Senators or another sporting organization. And I wanted to do my own accounting firm, similar to Ballers in a sense, where you'd like kind of advise athletes on their financials. So that's what I was kind of looking at when I was younger. But here we are now. Yeah. So yeah, I don't know why. You go through like the kindergarten yearbooks. I know I said this on Dan's thing, but it's police officer, fireman, blah 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 blah, and then it's like soccer player slash accountant. So definitely a funny story for sure. Um, would you say so? Obviously, the states compared to Canada, much more people there as a whole, larger population, a lot of high end schools. You can say, or yeah, high end school says. Um, ooh, geez, Mark Gasol from the three. Good for you. Um, yeah, what I was just gonna say here. Do you guys find it a little more difficult or a little more competitive, I guess, to find a quality position coming out of school, just to the the sheer number of people with high education.
I guess I have nothing to compare it to
Mm-hmm.
because I've never been
Mm-hmm.
in the job market in another country. But to your point, it is very competitive. When I was speaking with certain organizations, they have people coming from all around the U.S. They have California, Florida, Indiana.
Mm-hmm.
So you think of it as, oh, I'm competing with my peers, but at the same time, you're competing with thousands and thousands of other people, especially in the sports industry because it's
Mm-hmm.
so popular. So it's tough, but you just, again, you get back to what Jessica said, as a marketing major, differentiation is a huge thing that we talk about all the time. And what can you do to make yourself different?
100%.
The biggest thing I focus on, things like this. This is, even though I'm just networking and playing video games at the same time, not a lot of people make it.
Mm-hmm.
So it kind of ties everything together that we've said today. Make yourself different, meet people. This is the perfect event to do all those things.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. And that's really the objective behind this too, where I realized, like in this, I know it's only been a year, 365 days, that I kind of went, full throttle at this. And that's kind of how I am. If I want something, I'm going for it. And I just noticed, like, attaching your name. So actually, you know what? Advice I got, the only time I ever saw a prof for advice in university, which sounds crazy, was in my last semester. I went up to my digital marketing prof on the first day of class. I'm like, hey, I want to be a sports marketer. I'm like, what do you recommend? And that's kind of from an outside perspective of a different marketer. And he's like, well, build a brand. He's like, you want to attach your name to this. What is it? Like, make sure when someone Googles you or anything like that, it's, Christopher Nascimento that they find, or sports marketer Christopher Nascimento. And I'm like,
right.
That's amazing. So that's why, this stream, I attach my name, I attach your names to this as well. So hopefully that helps. And I know in the past, sometimes with the internet, there's issues, like it lags or volume. That's obviously part of the internet. My skill set's not there in fixing that stuff, but you always have these different discussions, and I think that just helps as well. And just kind of building, last thing that I'll say on what Mitchell was saying, of differentiating yourself and like making yourself different from the competition when you're getting hired. I think also in a value exchange is important, right? So you're not just hitting someone up on LinkedIn saying, hey, can I get a job? Hey, do you know anyone that can get me a job? Hey, I need a job. But actually, making that exchange so they actually feel a relationship rather than just gimme. So
these are my friends. Here's what I can add to your organization.
Something like that, or even just to begin the conversation, right? Obviously, maybe giving a perspective to an executive, maybe not the best. But if you do have an interesting perspective, like I know when I was younger, I was going, the Sens games here and their attendance was dropping. I had notes. I was like, oh, I would do this, I would do this, I would do that. And I was basically making a cheat sheet for when I do get an interview or when I did an interview for, ticket sales or marketing, what I would say. But that's what I did with the podcast, where I wanted these executives to meet with me. And by them taking the 30 minutes, they're getting back something to share across their network and, hear their voice. So that's why that's a whole other thing behind the podcast that just opened the door. But yeah.
Jess, I actually have a question. So you are in the Pittsburgh market?
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. Okay, so I'm in Pittsburgh pretty often, actually more than I am Cleveland. I would love to connect and just have a chat even just about what's available or what the options are.
Yeah, absolutely. I was super excited when I saw today's matchup, and I was like, oh, Penn State and Kent State. I recognize these schools. Like, we already have, like, that connection. Like, it's finding, like, those little connections already that, like, make growing your network that much easier.
Sure. Pittsburgh's great. I love the town. One of my favorite places to eat. It's right next to PPG, Pizza Milano's.
They have the best banana pepper pizza. Like, I kid you not, like, that is like one of our game day essentials is Pizza Milano and walking across the street to a Penguin game. And you have to get banana pepper. So shameless plug there. Banana pepper.
I know for the Millennial sponsor. But no, that sounds good. I know Mitchell when he was on the Canadian stream. I've been wanting to go to Pittsburgh because it's a great sports town. So maybe when I go down, once this all ends, obviously, find. So what I like to do, I want to find like an ultimate sports weekend. If I go to a city specifically for sports. So when I went to Boston in December, I'm a big Pats fan. Got Patriots tickets, Celtics tickets, and I had Bruins tickets. But then since there's divisional round implications or wild card implications, I believe, they shifted the Patriots game, which was we had this all perfect setup. So Celtics Friday night, Saturday the Bruins, Sunday the Pats, and then we fly home on Monday. They end up moving the Pats game to Saturday for prime time because week 16. So then that completely messed up our Bruins tickets. So we had nothing to do on Sunday, and I had to sell the Bruins tickets for a loss. But would have been perfect. But yeah, next time we go, I'll try getting to Pittsburgh to Pirates, Penguins, Steelers. So
Very good.
September.
Mm-hmm.
September would be the best month to do so. You know what? That's probably 2021 now that I think of it.
And Pittsburgh in September is beautiful. You come, especially depending on the direction you come from. Every time I come, I get to go on go through the Fort Pitt Tunnel and enter out on the beautiful bridge.
The what? Oh, is that the Yellow Bridge?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, nice. See, that's all I really know.
Well, Pittsburgh is the city of bridges. If you say the Yellow Bridge, it's to differentiate.
Okay,
the city of champions, whatever you want to call it, it's fine.
That's right.
The one, what is it? Behind the Pirates Stadium. You see like that perfect crisp view, and it's like that bright yellow covered bridge.
That's why. Yep.
Okay.
And that's why PNC is rated one of the best parks in the country every year.
It's not Hammond Yards.
Yeah.
No, I've heard great things about PNC Park. One of my good friends is from Pittsburgh, so we want to do like a little baseball tour this year, but because of COVID, we couldn't do that.
That sucks.
Yeah.
You're closer to the State College, Pennsylvania, obviously, then, right? If you go to Penn State.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I've only been out there a few times, but it's really nice out that way.
Yeah, it's in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
But once you get there, it's beautiful. You have mountains, you have great city life, you have nature, and anything you could ask for. I mean, we have great sports as well, obviously. Great community. Really, even though it's a long drive for me, it makes me it's like my second home pretty much.
Yeah.
Is
great.
What's State College? You gotta fill me in here. I have no idea what that means.
It's just a town that Penn State's in.
It's called State College?
Yeah.
The town's called State College?
The town's called State College.
Oh, man. Oh, yeah, somebody gotta talk to that mayor.
Yeah, you have a whole town dedicated to the university.
And I'm gonna Google that after. I'm not even gonna get into that. Okay, well that's amazing. So great stream. I think today actually flew by. Maybe it was just my opinion, but yeah, that's round two. We're round two. Mitchell, great having you on. Obviously, if you ever want to join on as a guest again, by all means. Jessica, you as well. Dan, you're still in it, so you're not being a guest. But
yes, if you have an opening, I'm all for it.
No, shoot me a message. I'm not gonna lie, I slowed down on the guess. I had guess in round one, just because there's so many matchups, and I wanted people to maybe focus on the game, and also in case some people are quieter. First round we had some quiet talk, so having the extra person always helped. But I think just bringing in people now once it gets to round 3, 4, because we've heard everyone's elevator pitch. They've heard me talk. They've heard maybe the other person in the Canadian stream talk. That bring someone from the other conference would make things interesting. So yeah, for sure. Dan, congrats on winning tonight. You'll be playing Maryland on the 22nd on 2K.
Rivalry game.
Oh, is it? I don't even.
Well, I actually I'm from Maryland. I live closer to Maryland,
No
but
way.
yeah.
Traitor. What a traitor. But no, yeah. So that sounds good. Let me actually circle that 'cause I always end up forgetting. Yeah, and then whoever wins your matchup on the 22nd will be playing Madden, and that will be either versus Florida or a school from Texas. So that'll be a good matchup. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's it for tonight's stream. But before we go, obviously, I want to do a quick rundown again of who's who and what's what. So, if you want to do that quick elevator pitch, maybe ship something in, maybe sneak another free ad. By all means, please do so. Let's go top to or bottom to top. So Dan, start us off. Maybe turn on the lights because we don't see anything. Yeah, there we go. Shine bright like a diamond.
Another elevator pitch. Is that what you said?
Something like that. So maybe a little different because let's not. I've been listening to a lot of elevator pitches. So actually, sell me on yourself here. So this
Yeah.
is I'm Dan, and this is why we should connect. I don't know, something like that.
Well, I've got a lot of experience, with Penn State athletics and working with the Orioles and moving into the accounting world. It's gonna be a different sector. Don't really have any experience in it yet, but if you're listening to this, I'm gonna miss sports, and once I go through my 5 to 10 years, maybe a little bit more. I love to get back in the sports world and combine my two passions, which is working in the sports industry and working within accounting.
Yeah, that's perfect. Jessica, sorry.
So, Chris, thanks again for having me on, represent Living Sport as our presenting sponsor tonight. Like, it's super great to meet both you, Mitch, Dan, growing my regional network here, and you, Chris, and my international network. So, super great to talk sports with you guys and some life lessons to break out in the sports industry. So, had a great time.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for joining. And I'll reiterate this again for Living Sport. So our presenting sponsor. Sorry, I have allergies. I always need to sneeze. Sorry. The winner of the whole tournament. So whoever wins in the international matchup, Canada versus USA on August 1st, it's scheduled to be right now. So that's a Saturday night. Will win a $500 scholarship to a 2021 Living Sport program. So huge shout out to them, and huge shout out to whoever wins that, because what a prize that is. Might have to sneak in here somehow. But yeah, Mitchell, close it out, man. Let's bring it home.
Firstly, I just want to say thanks, Chris, for logistically setting all this up across national lines, international time zones, and everything. I'm sure it's crazy. I appreciate you having me on. Thank you so much. Jessica, it's very nice to meet you. Like you said, expand that regional market. I'm very close to the Pittsburgh area, and I'd love to get involved in Pittsburgh sports. So I'd love to connect, and maybe we can chat it up and see where we can go from there. I appreciate you coming on and giving us some life lessons and also some tips to break into the industry. So, and Dan, great game. You smacked me, but that happens. That's okay. The better man won today. So, congratulations and have fun in state college the rest of the year here. So
Yeah, I'm gonna go Google that now that you reminded me again. Yeah, but I always forget to do this. So Christopher Nascimento, I'm the host behind this, also behind Nascimento Marketing. So if you want to find me on social media, on top of the banner, in the middle of the screen at Nascimento Marketing. That's on all social platforms. Like Jessica said, if you want to find me, Twitter, Instagram, whatever, you can find me there. Additionally, if you want to get in contact with any one of us, Mitchell, Chris, Jessica, Dan, our full names are here. Just type into LinkedIn. I know it seems like I've been getting messages and notifications from LinkedIn every day, so I appreciate it. What else? I'm a recent, I didn't say this at the start, maybe I'll throw this in now. Recent marketing grad, working with Athletico Ottawa, technically in marketing, but new team, hands in every pocket. So great stuff there. If you want to get in touch with me and kind of hear what I have to say with those experiences, by all means, please just do so. That's it for tonight. Chris gets a break tomorrow, Saturday night, finally. But the stream continues on Sunday with, I think Sunday's going to be a Texas matchup. Madden, football, Texas, what's better than that? So there we go. We got a good Texas Tech versus Baylor on Madden on Sunday. Stay tuned because that is the last matchup for the American bracket for round 2. So thank you all again for joining. I think that's it. Unless there's anything else you guys want to throw in here.
I dropped my LinkedIn in the chat here, so I'd reconnect with all you guys.
Yeah, absolutely. Here, stay on the line 1 second. But that's it for tonight's stream. Thank you for watching Nascimento Marketing's 32 Blitz presented by Living Sport. Have a good night.